Wait, you hear the bell?
What bell?
We're here.
Oh, come on, really?
Hey there, you gobnobblers. It's me, Dr. Groovy Scott Grove, or better known as Yo Mama. I'm here today to mess around with the Hendrix chord, like it says in the title. The E7 sharp 9, divided by 3 times 14 to the third power. Okay, that's why we call it the Hendrix chord. The old... that chord. Okay, the thing is what we're going to do today is show you how to play it in something other than E. A lot of you people probably haven't even thought to simply do that, to move it to a different place. You don't need a low string to have it in there, though I will show you how to make it sound like it's low for those who have thought to go ahead and move it down to D, or move it all the way up to G, or move it all the way up to A, where it starts getting really skinny sounding. But to teach you how to play it on the other strings going up, so you get that low E string in there. Okay, so the low E string doesn't always have to be there. You don't have to have the open high E string in there. So it's just showing you where to play it in different places on the neck. If you know it the one way, of course you know how to play it anywhere on the neck, and that your ring finger will be right there where your ring is. Your first finger will be right there on the other side of your middle finger, and your middle finger will actually name the key you're in. So if you play it, your middle finger is right there on the E, or the 7th fret on the A string, so that's always going to name what key you're in. When we change it, it opens up new opportunities when we go up to the other strings, because let's say we take the chord down to D, and now we do it the other way. We get to add that thing up there, which is a cool thing, because I use it in things other than rock. I use it whenever I have to play funk songs, or God forbid disco-y sounding things. So yes, I do bastardize Hendrix, and I do that. I'm sure somebody would have figured out that chord, like Buck Owens or somebody had Hendrix not done it. But so let's go ahead and go through the many uses of funking around with the Hendrix chord, all right? So stick around and we'll do that. Okay, folks, thanks for sticking around. Again, we're going to funk around with the Hendrix chord. Today's guitar is this 1986 Charvel Model 1A. In case you're interested, it's the most Strat-like thing that they did, as far as with the 3 single coils and so forth. Groovy axis, available in red, white, and black. Okay, so there's that information. Okay, the Hendrix chord, for those of you who don't know it. Okay, here it comes. Again, E7, and then we are at the sharp 9. So for an E7, we're going to, on the A string, going up to the 7th fret, middle finger. Now we do our 5th, which is the 6th fret on the A string. Now our 7th of the chord, which is at the 7th fret on the G string. Now we do our sharp 9, which is going to be on the 8th fret of the B string. Okay? Now this is the one and only chord, which is probably why it's so revered, which is because you could play all 6 strings, because you have, you got 3 different E's going on, the low E, then the octave one here on the A string, then your high string, okay, The first part of showing you what we're going to do is just simply to let you know that we can go ahead and take that chord and give you guys a good look at it for those of you who don't know it for some reason. Okay, and we're going to take that and we're going to go forward with it 1 fret, then back to where it was, behind and back to where we were. Okay, you play what you like, but I actually enjoy doing that. Okay, it's just got a certain wickedness to it. Okay, so there's something for you to do. If you're playing it down just in D, which some people haven't even thought, just to get away from the E, just take that whole thing, and again, your middle finger, that one right there, when you reach back to the D note, everything else moving with it just travels as a pack of ants. You don't get to play the low string unless you drop the open D, and you get to leave the high E off too. We have to suffer on everything other than E. Okay, so we get to play. And that's the way all this stuff will be. They will be these chords, 4-note chords for the rest of the lesson. Okay, if you're doing that. Okay, so you've got that kind of deal going. The thing about these, and they're cool, arpeggiated too. Added sus2. Kind of cool, add the open E in there, arpeggiated, otherwise it sounds like shit. But the thing I want to show you, other than, yeah, we can move it on down to C. See, it sounds cool. Just reach there and grab that thing, and of course, add that kind of stuff in. So no matter what key you're in, it's neat to toss it in quick, get out of there, or get in there and stay. Whatever works for you. Now, the other place to play them, like I mentioned, the other strings. Let's go right to where. Let's do it. Let's stay in C. Okay. Now we're going to move it up to the high strings. Okay. Now what happens here is we lose that pinky that has to go way up here. We end up with 3 fingers all on the same string. Okay. Again, everything will remain the same except for our pinky. We'll go back to the finger, or the fret, I should say, that has 3 fingers on it now. We're just going to go on the low E string, go up to the 8th fret. So there's our C. Go to 7th fret. Now we just keep building it up like we had. Okay, we go to the D string to the 8th fret. So we have our 7th chord. Now we just put our pinky right underneath your ring finger on the G string at the 8th fret. Okay, so it gives it that. It's the same chord, okay? Nothing different about it other than you can't play the low E and the high E like you do while you're in E. It's the only sacrifice you have to make. It's not a huge sacrifice, but it does have an extra cool factor to it. You get to do a little something that I used to have to really reach out to do, was back in E, doing my disco stuff. But honestly, something groovy. If I was back in E, if I wanted to reach up and get, you get to automatically do that in this now. So let's get back to our C. What do I do? Just simply take your pinky, flatten it out. That's it. Just flatten it out on the 8th fret. You've already got it on the G string, flatten it out so it covers the B and the E. So you've got all these extra strings you can add one at a time, or whatever. You have it here. You don't even have to include the lows. Okay, you can do the car honk, start on the D string. Okay, it actually works really well. Okay. So there you go. You get to play these way down to the low A or down to the low G where you haven't thought to play them before. Okay, you've like ran out for those who thought to move the regular chord, the original. E. Okay, here's your D. C. And as low as anybody would go, maybe B. A, maybe if you're lucky. But if you get way down here, man, you take that G. Okay, so you've got a chord there that you've never used before. A lot of you don't like to hear that fifth. Okay, so there on the B note. Okay, so you can just sit there and chunk at the low G. And I generally leave my pinky and stuff all the way across and just hit the strings I want. Okay, so if you also leave those fingers, or that one finger down, the pinky, you know, going across there, if you ever hit a string by accident, then you're not hitting wrong open notes that's going to destroy everything. Yeah, it gets rid of that whole mess. Okay, bet you thought you'd never be able to play that in F. You can do it in E, you can do it in F, it sounds fine, but you've never had it where you could actually get chunked before. Okay, so that's basically it. Again, quick run over. Going back and forth 1 fret. Throwing it in there just as a passing thing. Okay. Sounds great there. And just simply using it in other keys for those who just haven't thought to do it. If you actually take your finger, your middle finger, and touch it to your low E string at the top of it, and do a little chunk on there, you can go ahead and get away with adding a little power sound into it, because you're almost got it up to the A fret, but it's just a... Okay, so it adds power to it. Down to the C. Because you're getting a hint of the fifth up here, which is always a good thing. Okay? It's a good thing to play that anytime. If you're playing the E here, play the B right above it, the fifth. It's just a nice way to thicken up your chords. And again, to simply play the same chord, but I'm going all the way up to D. I don't need to do D. He's got a great D here. Let's just go back to the C. You take the same chord as before, move it up, and then take your pinky back one. That's all you're actually doing. So take this whole thing. Now let's just move it up there and then pull your pinky away. Okay, and it just makes for some great tasting dinner right there is what it is. Some good old-fashioned roadkill. Anyway, Scott Grove, yo mama, hoping you enjoy that. Play it on 12. One up the Spinal Tap guys and Nigel on them. And catch you guys later. Herpy Trails.